Y'all know the sheriff out in Phoenix by the name of Joe Arpaio. This is the guy who is notorious for being hard on criminals. He was ousted unceremoniously on Sunday. It was beautiful, y'all. I'm talking about it's so beautiful to see evil lose. When I see evil get defeated, oh man, I just be licking my chops like, yeah, get him. So the new Sheriff Penzone was like, man, this is over. I'm shutting down this tent. So what happened is that, one of his greatest, I guess, accomplishments in his mind is that he built this place called Tent City where he would make the inmates live. So basically, the Tent City looked like a refugee camp. And supposedly the conditions was very, very bad. But some of the inmates preferred those conditions over being confined inside of these brick buildings in the county jails. So very controversial dude. I ain't never liked him. Not too many people liked him. There were some reports that his mama didn't like him. I don't know how true that is. That's hard to imagine somebody's mama don't like him, but this just goes to show you how low down and dirty this dude was. He's 84 years old. He's 84. So he ain't got too much longer. Thank God the human race ain't got to deal with him too much longer. He about to vamp on up out of here. It's going to be a beautiful day. Whenever he go, I'm going to have a drink. In fact, I'm going to pop some champagne when he go, because he one of God's worst creations. And it's going to be a beautiful day. The human race going to be a better place when he go. Now, he's 84, so let's assume he hit the big 100. That's 16 more years. I don't think he's going to make it, because he lived for that power, that publicity that he got from being the sheriff and being hard on people that was disenfranchised, people that were poor, people that couldn't protect themselves, because it garnered him a lot of votes. Some people like that. Some people that has, especially people that have means and have money, some people like the idea of being tough on crime and being tough on those people over there. Just control them so I can have a nice and comfortable life. Just control them. I don't care how you do it. Just control them. I don't care if you kill them. I don't care if you disrespect them. I don't care if you don't acknowledge them. I don't care if you don't include them. I don't care what you do to them. Just keep them away from me. And so you got people out there, those type of people out there, they think that they're decent human beings. If you're one of those type of people and you're watching this broadcast, I'd like to personally say, go to hell. Yeah. I could have said something a lot more rotten than that, but there's been rumors that my pastor has been watching these broadcasts. Anyway, okay, so this is what the new sheriff had to say at the press conference after the old sheriff went on out of the door. Okay, so he said, starting today, that circus ends and these tents come down. Penzone said that challenges of the hot summer months had a greater impact on his detention officers who wear full gear than the inmates. And he said this, for those who are concerned, let me make it crystal clear. I have 5 other detention centers with plenty of space. We have room. So he's basically saying that, hey, hey man, I ain't like I'm no punk on crime. I ain't being easy on crime or nothing like that. But I just feel like this detention center is just an eyesore, and it's basically just eating up taxpayers' dollars. It don't serve any purpose but to basically make our city look like a huge buffoon. Like it does nothing for the image of our city. It's a bad look for our city. In fact, Mike Tyson was once a prisoner there. And when he was there, all they did was parade the cameras around. Like, look at Mike Tyson, look at Mike Tyson. It was just a big old show. So they even had this facility listed in their tourist guide. Like, this is a cool place. Like, this is a tourist attraction. Ooh, let's go see the inmates being humiliated. Let's go see that. See, I'm going to tell you something about people who work in law enforcement who humiliate, who takes pride in humiliating inmates. One of these days, that inmate is going to return to the streets, more than likely. For all you people that are super tough on crime, that don't have moral flexibility, imagine that person who was accused of a crime or convicted of a crime and went to do some time, served his time, returned onto the streets, returned to the free world, and he's bringing with him all of this emotional baggage from being in prison, for being humiliated, for being dehumanized. He's bringing all of this baggage with him, and he's pissed off. And he's just thinking about all of this damage that was done, the psychological damage that was done to him while he was inside. More damage than he ever faced when he was outside, before he ever went in. Even if he was a bad person before he went in. Some of these jail facilities that you go into, they're going to make you worse. Because some of these cats, these COs, these wardens, these sheriffs, they get off to humiliating people. They get off to it. They promote the culture of homosexuality. They promote the culture of fighting, killing, inmates fighting to the death. They promote the culture of disrespect, pitting the blacks against the Mexicans, the Mexicans against the whites. This is what they do. It's a lot of them out there like that. Way too many to start trying to point out one or two places. It's a lot of them. So when these people, when these inmates, these people, human beings who are going to eventually come in contact with you and your loved ones, when they hit the streets, wouldn't you want them to be reformed? Wouldn't you want them to have some kind of respect for humanity, for the next man, the next woman, instead of having this chip on their shoulder because they went in and got treated worse than they was ever treated when they were in the free world? I'm telling y'all, I know some of y'all just think it's so, y'all ain't got no damn idea of how bad it is, how people get treated when they go to prison. I'm telling y'all, it don't help society. It's not a help to society. It is a hindrance. It does not help that people are being mistreated when they go into these facilities. Some of y'all, well, you shouldn't have went. Man, that ain't the damn, man, that ain't the business, okay? The problem, it's like somebody saying, well, she got pregnant. Well, okay, well, she shouldn't have had sex. Okay, now so how do we get somewhere? Okay, we're just gonna talk about the symptoms, or we're gonna talk about, are we gonna get down to some solutions? We're gonna try to fix this thing. We're gonna just talk about the problem, or we're gonna try to fix the problem. And that's what we do in jails in America, in the judicial system in America. It's all about punishment, not rehabilitation. We don't have compassion. It's about punishment, punishment, punishment. And you know how it is when you just punish people. Many of y'all are parents. Y'all know how it is when all you do is punish. You've seen some parents who just punish, who believe in just punishment. Every little thing you do, you got to be punished. You got to be punished. I got to punish you, and I got to punish you as severely as possible. And look how their children turn out. Raising your child and punish the way you punish your child, that is like a speck, a microcosm of the way that American justice is leveled. I'm telling you, it's a microcosm of the way that American justice is levied. I'm telling you, the shit don't work. You gotta have like logical solutions to these problems. Just being emotional, just being mad and talking about punishment, crime and punishment, it don't work. It do not work. This dude, Joe Arpaio, was sheriff for 24 years in Maricopa. And he was one of the worst individuals possible. This dude, you know what? Let me give you a list of some of the things he did besides cronyism. This dude hired so many of his friends and relatives over the years that was not even qualified to be on the job. He just hired them because they was his people. So if you're hiring incompetent people for these positions, then the city and the taxpayers suffer. But no, they excused it. They ignored it. A bunch of jailhouse deaths happened while he was on watch. A lot of people was killed, questionable deaths, when he was on lock. See, here's the thing about being in jail and just being in custody. We're talking about county jail. We ain't talking about maximum security prison. We're talking about county jail. We're talking about video cameras everywhere. We ain't talking about people that's, we're talking about county jail, man, all right? We're talking about county jail. People ain't supposed to die, get killed. People ain't supposed to be found hung in county jail. Let me tell you something. You know how hard it is to hang some damn body, to find something to hang yourself with in jail? To find something to hang yourself from in jail. You can come across some things to hang yourself with, but to hang yourself from something, you know how hard that is to hang yourself from something in jail and without being seen, especially. Very, very difficult. These people are killing people. These people in law enforcement, these cops, they killing people. They're killing people that are in custody. That's what's happening. Now, one of the other things he did, he spent the millions of the taxpayers' money investigating Barack Obama for like 5 years. Investigating him for what? A fake birth certificate. Saying that he had a fake birth certificate. His ass way in Arizona. Word about the president birth certificate. Another thing he did. Traffic patrols and business raids that targeted immigrants. Totally trampling on people's rights. Profiling them. I mean, everybody got it. Not just the people that was undocumented, but everybody got it. He also had, so besides this big decision to have this tent, this basically tent city, he also went out and arrested animal abusers. He was very, very hard on animal abusers. I mean, now you kill each other, it was no big deal, but like if you do something to an animal, you abuse an animal, he went in. And he also went in on deadbeat parents. The last two, those two, here, there, whatever. Okay, I get the deadbeat parent thing or whatever. But this dude, for all intent and purposes, he really was there just to get paid. He really went in. He really was about being seen. That's what he was about. He was a publicity whore. That's what he was. That's what he was all about. Now, let's see what else this dude did. Let me see some of the other things he did. Oh, check this out. With all of his being tough on crime stuff, with all of his being the man and I'm gonna control them and they gonna, I'm the law and order sheriff. With all of that, that whole persona and mentality was undermined by his inability to bring over 400 sexual assault crimes, to even investigate over 400 sexual assault crimes, including many child molestation cases. He did not investigate. But he tough on crime. I ain't gonna say he was a child molester, but he wasn't arresting him. Kind of thing that make you think a little harder, don't it? I'm just saying, man. You know, I be thinking about stuff when I be, especially when it get nighttime, man. I get late at night, man, things start coming to me. Cause I stay woke, never sleeping. That's a live song, ain't it? Let me tell you something, man. You know, a lot of people get mad on, in all seriousness, man. This dude trampled on a lot of people's rights. He did a lot of people wrong. This dude was garbage. He was trash. He should have been gone a long time ago. In fact, he should have never, ever, ever became president in the first. I mean, should have never became sheriff in the first place. He had no right to be in the position that he was in, especially that long. He was totally corrupt. Everything about him was despicable. And that would be his legacy. His legacy would be a person who was divisive. He did not bring the communities together. He separated the community. And for that, he will not be missed. In fact, people are going to rejoice when he dies. They're already rejoicing that he's gone, but when he dies, they are going to rejoice. This is a dude who just was intent on dividing people. And that's going to be his legacy. That's going to be his legacy. You know, thinking that he was above the law. Just doing anything he wanted to do. That's what he did. Thinking he was above the law. So say sheriff. In fact, you're not a sheriff anymore. You're just a regular old person. In fact, since your whole career was about law enforcement, and now you're retired and you're 84 years old, you can't do nothing else but just sit around and die. While you're sitting around dying, I'm going to leave you with a parting catchphrase.